I wanted the look of a custom walnut hutch, but not the hefty price tag that comes with a custom piece. Luckily, I've got that mentality that you can make IKEA look high-end in just about any way. This is my best IKEA hack yet, and you'll have to see it to believe it.
I've been thinking about removing this corner cabinet since the day we moved in, and I'm so excited because I have this idea to do a really beautiful wood accent here. Now, I'm not fully decided on what that's gonna look like, but I think the first step is just to take this down and see how the space looks. It's like this angled corner cabinet, and you can't really do much prep here because your head always hits the cabinet, so I think this will be great. The one thing is I do need to get this outlet moved if I decide to do a counter hutch. So we're just thinking about that a bit.
As you can see, my kitchen is really dated, but there's so many changes that I'm going to be making, like changing the backsplash. But one of the things I didn't want to change was all the cabinet doors because I feel like that's just really expensive and unnecessary. So I'm going to be using an IKEA kitchen cabinet to make this kitchen look more in line with what's in style today. So I started off by clearing everything out and removing the doors to make it lighter and easier to handle. Next, I needed my husband's help to unscrew the cabinet from the wall. Always make sure to check for screws both inside that attach to the back of the wall and also to any adjacent cabinets. There's usually more than you think. And to be honest, this really tested our marriage. I feel like anytime you work with your partner, it's always going to be a little bit of a test. Once we finally wiggled it off the wall, I put this on Marketplace for free and someone snatched it up right away. So I'm really happy that we saved it from the landfill. Next, I'm actually removing this block of tiles from the wall because I'm going to be putting a hutch here and I actually have no additional clearing. It is going to be so tight when I get it in here. It took quite a bit of wiggling to get the tiles off. I ended up just cutting the drywall and removing it. Now, of course, we don't want this huge gap, so I'm going to be cutting a piece of drywall. Drywall is really easy to cut. You just score it with an X-Acto knife with a straight edge, and then you just bend and snap, basically.
Okay, so the funny thing is I'm doing this corner cabinet that comes all the way down. So do you think it's okay if I just leave this gap? I think it is. I have to patch this. Now the good news is that the cabinet will come up till here. So I really just have to patch this. So it's not that bad. I always used pre-mixed drywall compound. I'm horrible at this job. I'm not going to give you a tutorial. Just, yeah. This is coat number 1, and to be honest with you, that's not that bad. I've had much worse coat number 1s. Today's the most exciting day for the kitchen, and that is because we are adding a kitchen counter hutch. So I'm doing this really on a budget, but the one thing I really wanted to do was add a kitchen counter hutch, and I was like, how do I do that on a budget? Well, dun dun la, we're gonna do an IKEA hack. So I'm gonna use the same door frames I used on the island, and we're just gonna build the hutch up it's gonna be so good. I had to get a full 96-inch pantry from IKEA because they don't actually have the size I need. So we are gonna have to cut down the length, which is probably the hardest part. Otherwise, it's gonna be super easy. Okay, this is super important if you're going to be doing this hack with me, that you might be able to get different sizes of the IKEA cabinets that fit. I wasn't able to because of my ceiling height, so I bought the tallest one and I'm going to cut it down. So this is really important that you cut down the right size so you can actually make your box in the end. So I'm going to be cutting the top of these two, and then this is the backing, the bottom of the backing, so I can still hang this because there's or anchor it because there's this cutout here.
Of course, it's always really nerve-wracking to cut down IKEA furniture, so just make sure you're cutting the right side a few times so you don't make any mistakes. When you assemble the cabinet, you can use most of the same holes except for on that side you cut off. You're going to have to recreate those holes. I was really nervous to see if this could come together. I had to make sure that it was going to be level and square a few times. At this stage, I was like, oh, I think this is going to work now. But I didn't know what would happen next. When we went to go install this was such a tight fit. And after a lot of wiggling, we got it in.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited by all the storage I'm gonna get in this tall pantry. So now I actually have to like build the drawers and get everything assembled and set up in here.
IKEA drawers are amazing because they come together in like 5 minutes. After building so many drawers myself, I always feel so spoiled when I use IKEA drawers.
So before I put the drawer in, I'm actually gonna paint this because it's just gonna be so much harder with like the edge of the doors and drawers. I don't want to paint my whole kitchen right now. I do have to do it as part of this makeover. I just really want to get this set up.
My whole house is painted white Dove by Benjamin Moore, and this is my favorite warm white paint color. And just like that, I'm finally getting to see the vision of this kitchen counter hutch. It looks so good, and the IKEA cabinets, I just love them. If I was ever to like gut my entire kitchen, I would 100% do it with IKEA.
I'm so excited. The doors are going in. The doors are going in. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Okay, so the last door that I have is actually going to open upwards, like one of those like flip up door. IKEA sells the kit for it. I am still nervous to install it because these things are complicated, but IKEA makes everything easy, right? I was totally wrong because this door that opens upward is not just regular IKEA. You have to make your own holes for like the hinges, for the hardware. Like, this is critical. And I hope it lines up because I'm so nervous.
This was a little bit trickier than I anticipated, but IKEA instructions are so straightforward that I was able to figure it out.
Oh my gosh! I did it! That's actually so cool. Yeah, I need to adjust it a bit.
I also got this really inexpensive hardware from Amazon. Honestly, I wanted to splurge for the rejuvenation hardware, but there's no way that I could afford that in my budget. And these knobs are like $5 each, but they have a really nice vintage kind of look, and I think they contrast really nicely with this dark walnut. Now remember, you only get one chance to install hardware, so I think that using a jig is much more foolproof. It gives me a lot of peace of mind.
So I know this already looks amazing, and yes, I'm very happy with this side, but the problem with IKEA cabinets is they only come in white. There's no wood finishes, there's no colored cabinets. So what we have to make this look like a wood cabinet, right? Because I'm not going to be leaving it like this, but I have an idea.
Now over on my Instagram, I got a lot of hate for using this contact paper, but there's honestly no other solution for this side because as you saw, the fit was extremely tight. So I just took my time and cut this down really slowly, trying to get the best possible fit I could. And then at the front, I actually folded it over so it folds into the cabinet. And I think that will just give it a better look. And in the end, I am so thrilled with how this looks. I just feel like that's exactly what I wanted. It's so much more storage and it has that walnut look. So I feel like this cabinet should be balanced with another cabinet here. So I'm gonna take this cabinet off and then replicate this over here. When I was planning my kitchen, I definitely had a sneaking suspicion I might end up doing this, but I wasn't sure until it went up and it just looked like there wasn't enough walnut in the kitchen. So I pretty much repeated the same song and dance over on the other side, except that this cabinet had to be cut down in the depth as well. Unfortunately, IKEA does not sell the depth that I needed in the 30-inch width. I'm actually using glass doors on this side, so I needed to make sure the inside also looks like a walnut cabinet. Unfortunately, IKEA does not sell like full walnut cabinets. All their cabinets are white MDF. So I did wrap this one drawer, and I just want to show you because I don't think that I wrapped it very well. I basically used one piece and I put it this way, and I flipped it over and I put another piece and did the other side. But you can see this edge, this will be facing out. It does not look that good. Because I have this 30-inch one now, I think I should wrap it this way. Like, I hope that makes sense. I'll show you what I mean, but I think it should go one piece and it should go over the edge and then fold to the underside. Honestly, the second attempt with the blow dryer didn't look that much better. So I think I'm gonna be cutting down the actual like side panel, because IKEA sells a side panel, and using that for the shelves instead. Since I already did this once before, the assembly was super simple and I put together this cabinet. I realized as we were putting this up, the contact paper on that back piece got a little bit wrinkled, and I think that's just from like the bending because that piece is so thin. So I just ended up peeling it off and sticking it up again, and it looks seamless.
I'm so excited by how this is looking. Like, I think the contact paper looks so good. I'm using glass doors, which is why I had to use the contact paper. I also need to start framing it out because you can see there's like a gap here and a gap here. The good news is that IKEA does sell like the matching panels of this. So it should be, I think, not too hard to frame it out. Let's see. So this is what I'm talking about. Obviously, I don't want this to be the same white. And I know I use contact paper here. That's because on the inside, like you just have to, there's no way you can add like another panel on the inside and still use the same drawers. So I do have the panel, so I have to measure not just this, but I also have to measure the thickness of the door or drawer. So we'll get that measured. So I'm actually looking around my kitchen. So as an example here, they have added a side panel, and please ignore the mess, but they added a side panel, but it doesn't cover the thickness of the door. It just goes till here. But, in my pantry, they added the side panel here. Let me see. And it does go, and it does go to like be like where the door is. Like it goes right up to the door. So I guess maybe it's personal preference. It's what you want. I personally think this looks better than having it sit back. So I think I'll have it sit all the way forward.
Next, I'm cutting down the side panel, and you might have noticed I'm using a special tool to help me cut these long pieces of wood. It's called a Craig jig, and I will link it. It is so useful when you don't want to use your table saw, because holding a giant piece of wood through a table saw is really hard.
So I don't love nailing shelves on because there's high room for error. But let's just go and try it out. So let's see.
I cut down spacer blocks and also used a level to make sure that I would be nailing it exactly where the shelves are. And to my luck and surprise, all of the shelves were perfectly aligned. For extra reinforcement, because I am going to be putting dishes up here, I also countersunk a couple of screws, and that just gave me a bit more peace of mind.
Okay, the goal now is just to finish this off. I have to mount it, I have to put the side panel off, but I think I'm pretty close. Oh, I also have to have crown molding. Cutting crown molding is definitely a challenge.
I can really see the vision of this kitchen coming together, and I'm so excited by this. I screwed in the side panel from actually the other cabinet because these are glass doors, and so I didn't want the screws to be visible. I also needed a filler piece just to close up this little gap.
This little strip took me like an hour, more than an hour, like hour and a half to put in, but I think it's so worth it. These are the types of details that if you really take seriously, like take that DIY to like the more like professional level.
Last but not least, this entire kitchen has crown molding, so I definitely have to add crown molding to the top of this cabinet too. If I'm honest with you, I do not like cutting crown molding. First of all, it's expensive, so if you make a mistake, you know it's going to be an expensive mistake, and you have to cut it upside down, and all the angles just always confuse me, so I always need to watch a YouTube video for a little refresher. It took me a couple of tries to get the right stain color, but I'm really pleased with how this turned out. Once I found the right color, I always make sure to precondition any wood. That just gives it a nice even tone. Then I added a gel stain, and before I put it up, I actually pre-assembled the crown molding because I just find that it's a lot easier to install it when it's pre-assembled. And then I just used a combination of my brad nailer and pin nailer to attach the crown molding, and I think it gives it such a classic high-end look. If you love this IKEA hack, make sure you keep following along in my kitchen because there's so much else that I'm going to be doing in here.